With so much already said in Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, the story needed to shift. A change needed to happen. Let's review Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Andy Matichak, Rowan Campbell, and is directed by David Gordon Green. What's up, guys? Welcome to the final review in the David Gordon Green trilogy for Halloween Ends. It all comes to a close here, and boy, have I heard a lot about this movie over the past 24 hours, especially this morning, actually. I didn't hear any spoilers, thank God. I sticked and I moved, I guess, on Twitter, but I will say, oh boy, do we have some surprises in store for you. First off, this is a non-spoiler review. What does that mean for this movie? I can't tell you much at all. I can tell you what I liked about it, though. There is something that I didn't really like about it, and we will get to that, okay? But I'm gonna give you really broad strokes here. I will say this is a new direction. It is different. Everything you've heard about the risks that are taken in Halloween Ends, true. This is not Halloween 2018, and this is not Halloween Kills. And you know, I have to give David Gordon Green props because now, as a trilogy, we have three very different movies. Halloween 2018 was one thing. Kills was, you know, the bona fide ultimate slasher movie. Get that out of your system. This, let's try something new while still maintaining the characters and the story thread from the previous two movies, but let's maybe push this whole Haddonfield universe in a different territory. That could do two things. It could completely fall on its face and lose your audience, which, by the way, it did. I've seen some of the early reviews on Twitter. Or if you are open-minded and the story is strong enough and the characters are strong enough, then it can hold your attention and maybe present something new to you, which it does. I loved this movie. I really did. But like I said, there is something that I didn't really like, which we will get to, okay? Let me jump right into this. There is a character named Corey in this movie. Most of you have heard about this character already. He's even in the trailer, so that's why I'm gonna mention him. I'm gonna be very careful about what I say about Corey, but I will say Corey is a big, pivotal part to this movie. This, you could even say, is a Corey movie. But you're still gonna get Halloween, my opinion. You're still gonna get Michael Myers in here. And this is Laurie Strode's movie. You know, this is a few different characters that have storylines running through this movie, and they do connect. This takes place 4 years after the events of the first two movies. These characters are very different than they were in those previous two movies. Laurie Strode is trying to get on with her life. She has become a writer. She's put the past behind her, really. You know, Myers has been absent for the past 4 years, and the town of Haddonfield, they're still fractured, but they're learning to live again, you know? And you see kind of a shiny coat of paint on this movie, which is nice. The character of Allison, I loved her in this, and she is extremely important. I won't go into any spoilers on why she's important, but let me just say, to me, best out of the three movies. You know, and this is what I've been wanting. I've said this from the beginning. I want to know more about Allison. I want to see what this character is capable of. And in this movie, I got that. You know, they really focused on Allison quite a bit. She is a big part of this movie, and I think it worked. But let me just foot stomp this one more time. I was so in for the direction that this movie was going. It is established really early on. You know, pretty early on, you realize, okay, they're trying something different here. They're focusing on this character, Corey, and I loved it. I loved where they went. This is not the bloodbath that the last movie was. This definitely takes its time. There's definitely some gory moments in this movie, but it doesn't depend on that. It really focuses in on what's going on with Corey and Laurie and Allison, and I don't mind it. I really enjoyed what was going on with these characters, you know? Just the back and forth between them. Laurie kind of trying to take Corey under her wing a little bit and being more of a protective mother figure to him. This character has an arc, Corey, and he goes into some really dark places. But to me, it's still firmly planted in that Haddonfield universe. And that's some of the complaints I've seen about this is it's not Halloween enough. Bullshit. I thought this still felt very Haddonfield and Halloween, and they were taking a lot of the aspects of that world and applying them to this new and fresh story. I can see why a lot of people don't like this because, you know, if you want your tried and true Halloween movie like we've had so many times in the past, this ain't it, all right? They definitely went for something different here. But for me, it really worked. I was never bored once. I was so captivated by what was going on. As a matter of fact, there was a time in the movie where I looked at my wife and I was like, I think I'm loving this. This is really fun. And she said right back at me, she was like, this is great. And she hated Halloween Kills, by the way. So there's some perspective for you. My wife and I often disagree on movies. She loved this. Also, aesthetic-wise, David Gordon Green, I think this is his best directed film in the trilogy. It looks gorgeous. We've heard some comparisons to Christine in the past. And let me just say, there is one sequence in this movie that is like a love letter to Christine, and it's just glorious, but it fits right in with the story perfectly. John and Cody Carpenter, Daniel Davies, their score, I can't wait to get this on vinyl. It's really atmospheric. I think this is their most atmospheric score. They took some risks in here. You're gonna see some Halloween, but you're also gonna see, like I said, some like Christine inspired stuff in the score. Michael Myers, gonna save that for the spoiler review, all right? I don't wanna really talk anything about Michael Myers in this review. I wanna dig deep in the spoiler review, and let me just say, there is a lot in this movie that I have glossed over totally. There's so much beneath the surface. If you think the trailer gave a lot away, I disagree. I don't think it did. I think there's a lot in this movie that you're not prepared for. So I'll definitely cover that in the spoiler review. But as I promised, I'm gonna tell you there's one thing that I didn't like, and I don't like the ending of this movie. I don't like how it ended. That's all I'm gonna say. Again, we will discuss that in the spoiler review. I think the ending was a little bit, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not even gonna say that. I will say, everybody's gonna have their ending in mind as to what they want out of this movie, you know? So you might love the ending to this movie, but it was the one thing that I didn't really care for. I didn't like how it played out, okay? But I will say the audience cheered at the end of this movie. They clapped. So all those negative reviews, and that's mostly what I've seen online, it ain't in the regular audience, because the audience I've seen this with, I swear, everybody was just cheering and laughing, and during the movie, and then at the end, you know, they're standing up, they're clapping. So I don't get it. It's kind of weird. But yeah, you might not like this movie, okay? I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you're wanting just your standard Halloween, this ain't it, all right? But for me, I'm giving it a high purchase worthy, for sure. Being fair, I didn't like every single thing about it, like I've done in the past. You know, I told you there's something at the end that I didn't really like, okay? But overall, wow, I love that this took some risks, tried something different. And you know, even the font, there's a little nugget for you at the end of this. Even the font at the beginning reminded me so much of Halloween 3. So anyway, guys, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. This is a late embargo, so by the time you see this, you'll probably have seen the movie anyway. You're probably in the theater right now, but man, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a fitting end to this trilogy. You know what? At the end of the day, when you look back at your Halloween collection, this one will definitely stick out, and I think it's nice to have an alternative, you know, just like Halloween 3 was. This is kind of a marriage of different ideas, I guess. But Halloween's still in there. So, also be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. On Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on all my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. And you guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Drumdum out.